Some monsters hide in the woods, others behind locked doors. But this one, she came through the front door, smiling, a soft-spoken girl from a small southern town, the kind you'd trust to rock your baby to sleep. But behind those quiet eyes was something no one saw coming. This isn't the story of a masked killer lurking in the shadows. She wasn't a stranger in the night. She was the girl next door. This is the story of Christine Falling, once known as Christine Laverne Slaughter, a young woman whose troubled past led her down a path to become one of America's most shocking serial killers, known as the Babysitter from Hell. Stick with us as we unravel the haunting tale of Christine Falling, a story that'll leave you questioning who you can really trust with your kids. Christine Laverne Slaughter entered the world on March 12, 1963, in Perry, Florida, a small, rural town where life moved slow and simple. But her family was anything but ordinary. Her father, Thomas Slaughter, was 65 years old at the time of her birth, a man weathered by life, struggling to make ends meet. Her mother, Anne, was just 16, a teenager herself, barely equipped to handle motherhood. The age gap alone, nearly 50 years between her parents, set the stage for a chaotic household. They lived below the poverty line, scraping by in a home filled with tension. Thomas and Anne fought constantly, their arguments echoing through the walls, leaving little room for stability or love. Christine was the youngest child in this fractured family, and from the start, she didn't get the care or attention a kid needs. Money was tight, and her parents' volatile relationship only made things worse. By the time she was a toddler, the neglect was clear. She went hungry at times, lacked proper clothes, and missed out on the nurturing every child craves. On top of that, Christine faced health challenges early on. She suffered from epilepsy, a condition that caused unpredictable seizures, leaving her family overwhelmed and unable to cope. As the fights between Thomas and Anne escalated, the strain became too much. By the time Christine was 9, the police stepped in after one too many domestic disputes, and she and her older sister were pulled from the home. The girls landed in foster care and orphanages, bouncing between placements for about a year. For Christine, these years were a blur of instability, no steady home, no consistent love. And something darker began to show itself. As a young girl, she started hurting animals, especially cats. She'd strangle them or drop them from heights, later saying she was testing the old myth about cats having 9 lives. It was a disturbing sign from a child already wrestling with pain and confusion, but no one stepped in to get her the help she desperately needed. By the time Christine was 14, life took another sharp turn. In September 1977, her parents, still struggling, pushed her into a marriage with a man in his 20s, a guy nearly a decade older than her. The hope was that this union might give her stability, a fresh start. She took his last name, becoming Christine Falling, but the dream crumbled fast. The marriage was a disaster, marked by near-daily fights and violence from both sides. Just 6 weeks later, they divorced, leaving Christine, still a teenager, alone again, carrying the weight of a new name and more scars. The name Falling stuck, a haunting echo of a life that seemed to be spiraling downward with no end in sight. Now single, Christine tried to survive. By 1980, Christine, now 17, was trying to make a living in Perry. Parents in town felt sorry for her. Here was this young girl, rough around the edges but seemingly gentle, eager to babysit or help out. On February 22, 1980, She was hired to watch 2-year-old Cassidy Johnson while the toddler's parents worked. It was a normal day, or so they thought. When they returned, tragedy struck. Cassidy was rushed to the hospital, unresponsive. Doctors initially thought it was brain inflammation, a rare condition. One physician raised a red flag, suspecting foul play, but no one followed up. The little girl was gone, and Christine's story, that Cassidy had fallen from her crib, seemed plausible enough at the time. The community mourned, and Christine played the part of the shaken babysitter, devastated by the loss. No one suspected her. Why would they? But this was only the beginning. A pattern was forming, one that would soon spiral into a nightmare. In 1980, Christine moved to Lakeland, Florida, where she had family, hoping for a fresh start. But the darkness followed. While babysitting, she watched 4-year-old Jeffrey Davis. Soon after he stopped breathing, doctors chalked it up to myocarditis, a heart inflammation rare in kids. No one connected the dots. Then, just 3 days later, during Jeffrey's funeral, Christine was asked to care for his 2-year-old cousin, Joseph Spring. When the family returned, they found Joseph lifeless in his crib. This time, pathologists noted signs of a viral infection, a possible explanation. 2 children, gone in 1 week, under the same babysitter's care. That same year, she took a job as a housekeeper in Perry. On her very first day, 77-year-old William Swindle passed away in his kitchen. It looked like a heart attack, natural for a man his age. No one questioned it. In the fall of the same year, Christine joined her stepsister for a pediatric appointment, watching 8-month-old Jennifer Daniels in the car while her sister ran into a store. Minutes later, the baby was gone, her death blamed on sudden infant death syndrome. The losses piled up, and Christine always had an excuse. The turning point came in mid-1982, back in Blountstown. Christine was babysitting 10-week-old Travis Coleman. When the family returned, the infant was unresponsive. This time, the autopsy told a different story. Internal injuries, clear signs of suffocation. Suspicion finally turned to Christine. Police brought her in, and under pressure, she cracked. In a chilling confession, she admitted to killing 3 of the children: Cassidy Johnson, Jennifer Daniels, and Travis Coleman. Her method? Smotheration, she called it, pressing a blanket or pillow over their faces until they stopped moving. She claimed voices in her head chanted, "Kill the baby," driving her to act. "The way I done it, I seen it on a TV show," she said. Simple and easy, no one would hear them scream. The community reeled. This quiet, unassuming teenager, the one they'd pitied, was a killer. In December 1982, Christine pled guilty to 3 of the children's murders, a plea that spared her the death penalty. She was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. Christine Falling's story didn't end with her conviction. Locked away at the Lowell Correctional Institution in Ocala, Florida, she faced the consequences of her actions. In November 2017, at age 54, she went before a parole board, hoping for release after 25 years. No one showed up to support her. Prosecutors called her the babysitter from hell, arguing she deserved no mercy. Parole was denied, and her next hearing was set for 2024. As of today, she remains behind bars, her fate still uncertain. What drove Christine Falling? Was it the abuse and neglect of her childhood, the trauma that shaped her? Did voices really whisper to her, or was that a convenient excuse? And how did so many tragedies parents in Perry and beyond were left shaken, forever questioning who they let into their homes. As we close this chapter, think about this. A young girl, lost in a world of pain, turned into a predator no one saw coming. Christine Falling's tale isn't just a true crime story, it's a warning. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and thank you for joining us on this chilling journey. If this story gripped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more.